because when a country as naturally blessed as Nigeria and many other black African countries choose not to properly invest in their military, or even worse, can't even manufacture their own equipment, so we have to rely and depend on predator nations for our military supply, that's invasion already. When all our military supplies and equipment, like from our warships or our aircraft to armor tanks, even guns and explosives, are all being imported because for some silly reasons we can't manufacture anything, that's invasion, that's self-sabotage. Oh, and mind you, all these predator nations can still decide not to sell military equipment to us if for whatever reason they deem our behavior as bad. So we always need to be at our best behavior like a good little puppy to them to avoid being sanctioned. So you tell me, isn't that invasion? Isn't that modern day slavery? Anyways, let me give this last quick example for the sake of time. In late 2024, when the war between the IDF and intensified, and by the way, IDF simply means Israel Defense Forces, is a terrorist group present in Lebanon. When the war between both sides intensified, the IDF did something through Mossad, which is an equivalent to the CIA in America. Something that only most people can imagine happening in action movie. So what did Mossad do? So what exactly did Mossad do? When Mossad remotely detonated several communication devices like the walkie-talkies and pagers used by thereby causing numerous explosions which unalived many of the group members and also injured many more who had the devices on them. So why am I bringing up this example, you may ask? Well, it turns out that just like the Nigerian military, for example, also did not manufacture their own military equipment, including something as sensitive as communication devices, so they had to heavily rely on importation to get them. And the Israelis, being aware of this huge weakness, decided to capitalize on it by intercepting the supply chain used by to get these devices. And what did they do? They swapped ordinarily harmless walkie-talkies and pagers with Mossad manufactured ones, which was then perfectly fitted with explosives inside, and then they shipped it off to his to use. So when the Israelis noticed that was now intensifying the attacks against them in support of Gaza, they simply just detonated all the now explosive devices, thereby unaliving, injuring and mentally destabilizing, thereby forcing the group to an eventual quick submission in the name of a peace deal. So this is a clear example of what can happen to any country that refuses to consciously invest in their military. This is a clear example of what can happen to any country that refuses to work towards reducing over dependency on other countries for every single military equipment.